Tina Turner, who has died at the age of 83, was widely referred to as the Queen of Rock and Roll. She rose to fame as the lead singer of the Ike Tina Turner Revue before her career as a solo performer took off in the 1980s. She is best known for hits including The Best, Private Dancer, What's Love Got to Do with It, Typical Male, and Let's Stay Together. Tina Turner, the unstoppable singer and stage performer who teamed with husband Ike Turner for a dynamic run of hit records and live shows in the 1960s and 70s, and survived her horrifying marriage to triumph in middle age with the chart-topping What's Love Got to Do with It, has died at 83. Turner died Tuesday after long illness in her home in Küsnacht near Zurich, Switzerland, according to her manager. She became a Swiss citizen a decade ago. She was a truly and enormously talented performer and singer, tweeted Mick Jagger, whom Turner helped in shaping his own dynamic stage presence. She was inspiring, warm, funny, and generous. She helped me so much when I was young, and I will never forget her. In this video, we will present to you what President Joe Biden said about the artist Tina Turner and how he surprisingly described her. Before she was the queen of rock and roll, Tina Turner was a farmer's daughter in Tennessee. As a child, she sang in the church choir before becoming one of the most successful recording artists of all time. With 12 Grammy Awards, she was the only woman to win in the pop, rock, and R&B categories, a signal of her versatility, creativity, and broad appeal. Millions flocked to her concerts. Her high-octane dance performances were legendary, and her iconic hits, including Proud Mary, The Best, What's Love Got to Do with That, continue to be treasured and sung at full volume by generations of fans. In addition to being a once-in-a-generation talent that changed American music forever, Tina's personal strength was remarkable. Overcoming adversity and even abuse, she built a career for the ages and the life and legacy that were entirely hers. Jill and I send our love and prayers to her husband Erwin, the rest of the Turner family, and fans around the world who are mourning today for the woman they agree was simply the best. The story of Tina Turner has been told before. It was partially shared in a People magazine review back in 1981. The first time the singer publicly described the abuse she endured during her 60-year marriage to musical partner Ike Turner. It was laid out in more detail in the autobiography Ike Tina, co-written with Kurt Loder, and then again in the 1993 movie based on that autobiography, What's Love Got to Do with That? But Tina Turner hasn't told her story the way it is told in Tina. The HBO documentary debuted in March 27, positioning itself as a definitive account of the life and career of this rock and roll pioneer. The documentary enables Turner, now 81, to discuss the full breadth of her existence in her own words, while speaking directly to camera. Tina is sweeping, fascinating, and because of Turner's participation, deeply personal. It also frames itself as the final word in this music legend, strongly implying in its closing moments, including a montage of Turner taking poses during performances throughout the years, that this 2-hour movie is essentially Turner's farewell to the wider world. How do you bow out slowly? Just go away, Turner asked rhetorically, and Tina, apparently the answer is like this, with a beautiful moving film that feels like a summation of who Tina Turner is, yet also still leaves viewers wanting just a little bit more. Perhaps that's appropriate. A great artist is always supposed to exist the stage with the audience craving more anchors. Given that Turner was recently nominated to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for the first time as a solo artist, it seems fair to say that she is not going to disappear from the landscape just yet. as directed by Dan Lindsay and T.G. Martin, who won the Best Documentary Feature Oscar in 2012 for their film Undefeated. Tina focuses its first 15 minutes or so on Turner's partnership with Ike Turner, which began as something akin to a mentor-mentee dynamic, then turned romantic, and after that into something much darker. What she endured in that relationship for many years, the violence in the form of third-degree burns and black eyes, the minimizing of her personhood, the shame that drove her to gulp down an entire puff of sleeping pills is described in detail. When Turner recalls the aftermath of her suicide attempt and the fact that her pulse returned when Ike started talking to her in the hospital, her words are cast against imagery of her performing in the 1970s with an infectious grin on her face and tiny pupils floating around her. That single pairing of sound and visual captures the contradiction of her entire early career. Lindsay and Martin do a marvelous job of weaving in archival footage like this in ways that are illuminating and not conventional by music documentary standards. Even after Tina fled that marriage, literally sneaking out of a Dallas hotel and running through oncoming freeway traffic to get away from him, the specter of Ike still lingered. She first tried to exorcise him by doing a 1981 review with Carl Arrington, the then music editor at People, in which she finally explained the true nature of their marriage. This was long before Me Too. For Turner, it was more like just me. Domestic abuse was not discussed openly in that era. To speak as frankly as she did was a risk. Turner says she was so nervous about it that she consulted her psychic to find out if the move would obliterate her career. She said, "No, Tina," Turner recalls. "It is going to do just the opposite. It's going to break everything wide open." What that psychic didn't tell her was that, despite the massive success she would achieve with the solo album Private Dancer and others that followed, the specter of Ike would continue to loom. She would be asked about her ex-husband constantly in interviews during the 1980s. Tina features a clip of a reporter inquiring about her thoughts on Ike's recent cocaine arrest while she is doing a press for the movie Mad Max. Beyond Thunder Some, she says she agreed to publish "I, Tina" to get the journalist off my back. It didn't work. The book begat that movie starring Angela Bassett and Lawrence Fishburne, and still more conversation about the most traumatic moments in her life, even though her resilience inspired so many. For her, every devastation of that era forced her to jab at open wounds.